And thank you so much those who are watching. This is APM Media TV, Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm your host, Rev. Pauline Omondi, Nairobi. Thank you so much.
Black people, men.
Thank you.
We are men, and these people are men, just like me and you, just like us. Why don't we unite? Why don't the people, poor people of Africa, unite against the system? Because the same thing happening in Uganda, it's happening in Kenya, it's happening in Tanzania. It's happening in other African countries. The judicial institutions that we expect to give us justice will never give us justice. Because these institutions were bequeathed to us by the colonialists. That's it. That's why Besigye is frustrated. I saw him. I saw the video. He is very frustrated because he has been persecuted in his own country for standing up for what is true and right, for fighting for his people. Then when he's doing that, the people of Uganda have abandoned him. He's alone. There's no one to give him solidarity. Let me tell you one thing: unless Africans unite, nothing will change. Nothing is gonna change without unity. Nothing will change in Kenya, Tanzania, or Uganda, or in any other African country, including Burkina Faso and other African Sahel countries, without unity. Our fathers, if you read history very well, and if you reason very carefully, they were fighting for unity. The true leaders, the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, the likes of Samora Machel, the likes of Steve Biko, the likes of Kemathi, those are great leaders. Those who are killed by the system, by the white man system. They were fighting for what? For unity. So without unity, even here in Kenya, we'll continue protesting and we'll never change anything. Ruto will not just go because you are coming out to the streets and shouting. No. That is just rhetoric. We have to unite and unite with ideologies. We have to fight ideologies that will unite us. Right now, see what is happening in Kenya. Leaders are inciting the people of Kenya against one another, inflaming ethnic tensions. That's what they are doing. The other day, Duare was heard calling some tribe hyenas. There is Kawanji.
Free Besigye, free.
Free.
Free Besigye, free.
Free.
Down with Museveni, down.
Down.
Down with Museveni, down.
Down.
Down with Muhozi, down.
Down.
Viva come viva.
Viva.
Free Uganda, free.
Free.
Yes. We can start. We are gathered here to issue a statement regards the situation of Dr. Kizza Besigye. We are all aware of the incident that happened yesterday while he was in court. We are all aware about his case, the treason charges, of which he has been battering in the court for the last 2 years, but bado, there is no end. We are all aware that his legal team, his representatives, one including Council Martha Karua, has been denied entry to Uganda. His other lead counsel, Erias Lukwago, is in jail. All his associates, all his lawyers have been threatened. They are either in Uganda living in fear or outside of Uganda. And then yesterday while in court, he was forced to use the lawyers or representatives from the government, which he denied, and that coercion, he collapsed, and as we speak, he's still unconscious in Mulago Hospital. So we are issuing a statement. I think we can begin.
For immediate release, emergency alert for Dr. Kizza Besigye, collapse in state custody and remain in ICU. An urgent call to halt the cruel state-sanctioned extension of Dr. Kizza Besigye and Erias Lukwago by the Museveni-Muhonzi regime. July 30th, Legal Defense Network, Regional Bar Association, International Human Rights, watchdogs, civil societies actors, and human rights defenders worldwide issue this alert on the systematically physical destruction of Dr. Kizza Besigye and his legal counsel by the regime of Yoweri Museveni and Chief of Defense Force, General Muhonzi Kainerugaba. The crisis reaches as Scottsfield tips pointed yesterday, July 29th, when 70-year-old Dr. Kizza Besigye collapsed into a state of unconsciousness inside a forfeit cage at a high court in Kampala. Eyewitness, a legal account described a shocking, frail state of deterioration, with Dr. Besigye exhibiting yellowing eyes, labored breathing, and gasping for air. He is currently fighting for his life under hostile military guard in the ICU at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Simultaneously, his co-counsel and People Front for Freedom leaders Erias Lukwago is trapped in critical condition at Luzira Prison, where the state is actively denied him special life-saving medical evacuation to India, despite official warning from national referral doctors that his life is in imminent danger. The international community must recognize this pattern. The Museveni, Muhonzi junta is utilizing weaponized medical neglect and administrative torture to eliminate its critics.
Viva comrades, viva!
Viva!
Viva comrades, viva!
Viva!
Viva comrades, viva!
Viva!
Forward with organizing, forward!
Forward!
Forward with borderless Africa, forward!
Forward!
Forward with borderless Africa, forward!
Forward!
My name is Mark Amiani, the National Organizing Secretary for Kongamano la Mapinduzi, which is a political movement and is in solidarity with all the political prisoners in Uganda. The case of Kizza Besigye, transnational kidnapping and illegal extradition. The current life-threatening hospitalization of Dr. Kizza Besigye is the direct result of lawless cross-border security operation executed in absolute violation of territorial sovereignty and international law. The illegal abduction from Nairobi on November 16, 2024, Dr. Besigye was unlawfully seized from an apartment in Riverside suburb of Nairobi, Kenya, by armed operatives acting in collusion with Uganda security elements. He was held incommunicado, denied access to legal counsel or his family, and secretly spirited across the border. Flagrant violation of extradition treaties. The regime bypassed all established legal, judicial, and diplomatic protocols governing international extraditions between Kenya and Uganda. No formal extradition requests were filed. No judicial hearings were held in Kenyan courts, and no deportation orders were legally processed. Hereby we ask the Kenyan government, what were you trying to do with Dr. Kizza Besigye? Why were you part of this abduction? And why did you allow to be part of this abduction? A dangerous regional precedent. The continued detention of Dr. Besigye, therefore, cannot be viewed in isolation. Comrades, the continued detention of Dr. Besigye, therefore, cannot be viewed in isolation. His unlawful cross-border rendition, prolonged detention, deteriorating health, and continued prosecution, despite mounting challenges to the state's own evidence, collectively point to an escalating assault on due processes, judicial independence, and the rule of law. This lawless cross-border rendition constitutes a state-sponsored kidnapping on sovereign foreign soil, the same way we witnessed Comrade Boniface Mwangi when he was abducted in Tanzania.
And Bob Njagi.
And Bob Njagi and Nicholas Soyo, who were abducted in Uganda twice. By transforming neighboring territories into hunting grounds for political dissidents, the Museveni-Muhoozi apparatus has directly undermined regional stability. Comrades, the Museveni-Muhoozi and the Suluhu and the Ruto apparatus has directly undermined regional stability and violated the principle of non-refoulement under international refugee and human rights law. Viva fighters, viva!
Viva!
Viva fighters, viva!
Viva!
Viva Kenyans, viva.
Viva!
Viva Uganda, viva.
Viva!
Free Besigye, free Besigye.
Free Besigye.
Free Erias Lukwago.
Explicitly declared that civilians can no longer be tried by military court under Article 28, Clause 1 and 210. Because the military tribunals have zero legal jurisdiction over civilian any prior or ongoing military charges against Dr. Kizza Besigye are illegal and void. His holding is no longer a legal process. It is a lawless executive hostage situation. Violation of the UN Mandela rules by actively blocking Erias Lukwago's medical evacuation to India and keeping Besigye under hostility military lockdown. The junta is direct violation of Rule 27 of the United Nations Standard Minimum of Rules for the treatment of prisoners, the Mandela Rules, and Article 16 of the Africa Charter on Human Rights and People Rights, which mandate the immediate transfer of illegal detainees to specialized medical institutions. Those obligations exist irrespective of the charges faced by detainees and require authority to preserve life and dignity while legal proceedings continue. The targeted destruction of the legal defense to ensure opposition leader dies without access to fair trial or public voice. The regime has carried out brutal campaign to decapitate their illegal representation. Viva Congo, viva! Viva! Down Museveni, down! Down! Free Kizza Besigye, free! Free! Free Uganda, free! Free! Free Africa, free!
Free! People power!
Our power.
People power!
Our power.
People power!
Our power.
Our power!
People power.
The targeted destruction of legal defense. To ensure opposition leaders die without access to a fair trial or a public voice. The regime has carried out a brutal campaign to decapitate their legal representation. The medical hostage taking of Erias Lukwago. Jailed on trumped-up prison charges, Kampala Road Mayor Erias Lukwago is experiencing severe systematic health failure. A medical evaluation from the executive director of Mulago National Referral Hospital explicitly notes severe spinal complications and advanced hypertension. Appearing via Zoom, Lukwago pleaded, "I need to be in India immediately if my life is to be saved." The state has repeatedly adjourned his bail hearings, effectively handing him a slow death sentence to block him from resuming Besigye's legal support. The residue harassment of Kizza. While prominent human rights attorney Kizza was released on a steep 20 million shillings cash bail following international outrage over his unconstitutional 9-month military court conviction, his ability to practice remain heavily restricted. The state continues to subject him to relentless judicial harassment, strict travel bans, and mandatory monthly reporting to the court registrar, sabotaging his ability to mount an unfettered defense for Besigye. The ban on Kenyan Council. The regime has formally barred Council Mother Karua from entering Uganda, sealing off Dr. Besigye from regional legal protection. People power.
Our power.
Anthony Sekalala. Emergency political demand.
People power.
Our power.
Down with Ruto, down.
Down.
Down with Museveni, down.
Down!
Down with Suluhu, down.
Down!
Down with Muhozi, down.
Down!
Emergency critical demands. The international community can no longer provide diplomatic cover or financial life to support a regime operating a lawless dynastic military dictatorship. We demand, number one, immediate release of Dr. Kizza Besigye on humanitarian grounds. Court order authority must immediately grant unconditional bail to Dr. Besigye to permit urgent specialized medical treatment.
drop all political motivated charges against Dr. Besigye and urge obedience Lutale and permit an independent international medical team to oversee Besigye ICU recovery. 2. Immediate release of Erias Lukwago. Authorities must immediately grant unconditional bail to Erias Lukwago to permit urgent specialized medical evacuation to India to save his life. 3. Target the Museveni Muhoozi enablers, global magnetic sanction. The US, UK, and EU must freeze the foreign bank accounts, offshore assets, and luxury real estate holdings of President Yoweri Museveni, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and prison commanders directly supervising the medical starvation of Lukwago and Besigye. 3. The immediate suspension of global security funding. Foreign government must immediately cut off all military hardware sales, training aid, and intelligence sharing grants given to the Uganda People Defense Forces, UPDF. Global taxpayers must not fund a military command that openly tortures lawyers and abducts political opponents from neighboring sovereign democracies. My name is Michael Ngige, aka Jomo Kenyatta Jr. Thank you.
Viva Congo, viva!
Viva!
Viva Congo, viva!
Viva!
Now with Museveni down!
Down!
Now with Muhoozi down!
Down!
Now with Sulu down!
Down!
So in conclusion, I just want to say that Uganda is breeding. Uganda is breeding. Museveni and his son Muhoozi are just a project of pain, murder, torture, enforced disappearances, all that Ugandans have never asked for. There are hundreds and hundreds of opposition critics, especially allied to NUP, who are rotting in jails, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. No court undertakings. Many of them are in basements. And of course, we have had a history of other nationals, especially in the case of Bob Njagi, Nicholas Oyo, who were abducted and kept incommunicado in basements, what Museveni called fridges, for near a month or so. We have a case of Boniface Mangi, who was abducted in Tanzania, and So this is not only happening in Uganda, but is now almost an East African affair. So what can we do to stop all this madness? As we have said, the international community and all associates of the human rights should come through, because if nothing happens, Uganda will no longer be a country. It's a terror or dungeon of murder, torture, of which many people are afraid to speak out. So I thank all the voices that come through to talk and condemn all these atrocities that are happening in Uganda. Thank you.
Viva, comrade, viva!
Viva!
Viva, comrade, viva!
Viva!
I'm a Ugandan journalist and I'm a political journalist as well. I'm Douglas Kesegawa. I come from Uganda. What I can really say, Ugandans, we have betrayed Dr. Kizza Besigye. To be honest, for the years Dr. Kizza Besigye has spent in prison, Ugandans have been very inert in actually putting out a demonstration for them to make sure that Dr. Kizza Besigye, who has been in prison for approximately 20 years, to be released. And when Museveni came out, was very sarcastic on the situation of Dr. Kizza Besigye. And Dr. Erias Lukwago, the condition Dr. Erias Lukwago is in currently is really very misery, because when you look the way the judiciary in Uganda operates, it's really, what can I even really say? I've covered a lot of stories. I've actually gone to prisons. I've wrote articles in different newspapers, but I feel very sad because the government of President Museveni and the son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, have really done injustice to the Ugandans. Ugandans seem to be having peace, but ironically they aren't. People are in jail, people are rotting in jail, and they're not brought to book in order for them to be sentenced. People are actually abducted in broad daylight, and Ugandans are there inert, keeping quiet. It really pains me a lot. As a journalist, I've really discovered that Ugandans are very timid. Ugandans, please, you wake up. Wake up. That is your country. That is your motherland. It's better for you Ugandans to wake up, because the moment you sleep up, trust me, they are creating a dynasty. And the dynasty is actually circulating from the father to the son, now to the grandson. Time to come. I beseech you Ugandans and all international organizations to come actually in hand to help Ugandans to make sure that they really fight for their rights. Ugandans, we are becoming very extinct. We are hibernating. What is wrong? Kenyans are becoming more aggressive, and they're actually putting Ruto onto the nail, and they're saying Ruto one term. Why can't we Ugandans do that to President Museveni, who has really ruled us for approximately 45 years? Now he's going to make approximately half a century. What are we really doing? I feel very, very upset, and I'm very tragic on this. Ugandans, we should wake up. Free Dr. Kizza Besigye, free Erias Lukwago, and free all political prisoners. That's what I can really say. I'm Douglas K. Segawa.
Thank you. My name is Sheikh Muhammad Khan. Basically, I'd just like to add to the abductions of the political leaders in Uganda. We also had recently, just yesterday, our Dr. Victoria Ntunya Mutiso was killed in cold blood. We would also like to call on the Kenyan government. Where is this country headed to? Why can't we live peacefully? Why can't we move around? Why should a person just be killed just because of a small dispute? So you want the police forces, especially Mr. Lagat, to be answerable to this, so that our doctors and our engineers don't start running away from this country because they fear for their life. Thank you.
Kwa majina ni Felix Wambua, na tumekuja hapa kutia ndugu zetu Waganda moyo kwamba ipo siku haya yataisha. Lakini kabla yaishe, dunia ni lazima ijue kwamba Museveni mambo anayoyafanya ni yale yale yaliyofanyika kule Tanzania kwa Mheshimiwa Tundu Lissu. Tuliona makosa ya uhaini yalimwekelewa Mheshimiwa Tundu Lissu, akakataa mawakili wake ndio akajiwakilisha, na hivyo hivyo ndivyo Besigye alivyotaka kufanya ili yeye mwenyewe aweze kujiwakilisha. Tumejua kwamba serikali za jumuiya yetu zime weaponize the judicial system. Independent bodies are no longer independent. I want to send a message to all the enablers of these atrocities happening within the region that today you are going to be loyal to a murderer. Today you are going to be loyal to serve justice that favors one who is killing democracy within the region. But when day comes, it shall be your turn. So all our eyes are on the judicial bodies, the East African legislative arm, that is HIALA, and also the East African Court of Justice. We are looking at you. We want you to add on voice on this. There are people who are ailing. Besigye is in critical condition. We know last time when he was sick, he came to seek medical attention here in Kenya, Aga Khan Hospital. Same with Erias Lukwago. Some of us have special attachment with Uganda because we cannot have a region, a complete region without one of the countries. We know that Uganda, what is happening in Uganda will spread to other countries. Today, we have an interior minister who is threatening the opposition leaders. This is a wake-up call. Whatever is happening to opposition leaders in Uganda could happen to you, Mr. Gashagwa, could happen to you, Kalonzo. You need to add on voice into this. As you go to seek out your votes, we want to know and hear about your international policies, because we cannot live as an island, as a country. Thank you. Felix Wambua.
Maybe any questions?
No question.
Lisha Uchieng Alam, a human rights defender here in Kenya, and in solidarity with our brothers in Uganda, we are here to read this statement. The charge sheet of Dr. Kizza Besigye, an airtight indictment of state lawlessness. Beyond the humanitarian emergency, serious questions are now being raised about credibility and internal consistency of the prosecution on evidence. Recent defense analysis identify multiple contradictions within the state principal witness statements, including conflicting timelines concerning alleged meetings in Geneva, inconsistent accounts surrounding the alleged Kisumu event, and chronology that appears incompatible with public document event. These issues go directly to the liability of the prosecution's central narrative and reinforce the urgent need for independent judicial scrutiny before lives are irreparably lost in custody. As articulated by prominent legal defenders, including Advocate Isaac Christopher Lubogo, the Museveni-Muhoozi military apparatus has completely discarded the facade of constitutional state. The regime is operating in direct criminal violation of both domestic founding laws and international treaties, defiance of APEC judicial power. The regime continued to hold Dr. Besigye in total defiance of the January 31st, 2025 Supreme Court of Uganda ruling, which explicitly ordered his release. This open executive defiance violates Article 126, Section 1 of the Constitution of Uganda, which affirms that judicial power is derived from the people. The continued detention, despite the Supreme Court ruling, coupled with growing questions surrounding the prosecution evidence, has further eroded the confidence in the independence and integrity of Uganda's justice system.
My name is Erias Manguyo. I'm a Pan-African and a human rights defender. So, the inflicting unconstitutional and derogable torture by keeping a feasible failing Dr. Besigye and Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago in a toxic prison condition. While denying the medical care, the state is violating Article 23, 24, and 44 of the Uganda Constitution. Those articles protect
yaendelea, yaendelea. Kumbe badala yake mapambano yaendelea, 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 yaendelea.
So much. That is APM Media TV streaming live in Nairobi. Thank you.